Right now, on to the point. The fight over H-1B visas.
President Trump's $100,000 fee isn't just misguided, it is, yes, illegal.
The new legal action California is taking against the Trump administration.
A one-on-one interview with Folsom's new police chief, his vision for the future of the department in a growing city with budget challenges.
Gift cards are a holiday favorite, but scammers are cashing in. The warning signs to look out for before you buy. And on the back roads.
The poinsettia leaf is what turns color.
A colorful farm with a long tradition, bringing holiday cheer.
5 days on the job, Folsom's new police chief sits down with ABC 10 for a one-on-one interview to discuss his vision for the department. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alex Bell. Chief Adam Green is coming from the Sacramento Police Department, where he served nearly a quarter of a century. ABC 10's Becca Hotbecker joins us live in studio right now. Becca, the new chief, though, he does inherit a department that is facing some litigation, right?
Right, Alex. As ABC 10 has been following and reporting on for more than 2 years, several former Folsom police officers have sued the department, alleging a hostile work environment, including racism, sexism, and retaliation stretching back years. I asked the new chief how he plans on fostering a welcoming workplace. On Monday, Adam Green was sworn in as Folsom's new police chief. He comes from the Sacramento Police Department, which he joined in 2001 as a police officer and rose through the ranks, serving most recently as deputy chief. Green now oversees a staff of 125 in Folsom, about 80 of whom are police officers. He says he wants the community to know how excited he is to be here.
The police department and the community have been incredibly welcoming just in 5 days. And it's really neat to see that. Folsom is obviously a very proud community. It feels like a family.
He says the department is currently nearly fully staffed. As Folsom grows with development booming south of Highway 50, I asked Chief Green's vision for the future.
As we see the city grow, we'd like to see the police department grow. And as a result of the budget, we're not in a position to grow the department at this moment. But the goal is that moving forward, once we kind of normalize the budget or get to a better place, we'll be able to add resources so we grow with a growing city.
I also asked him about pending litigation against the department and city of Folsom by former police officers here alleging a hostile work environment, including racism, sexism, and retaliation. Green said he was aware of this litigation coming into the job.
Yes. Yeah.
While he can't comment on the litigation, I asked his plan for fostering a welcoming workplace.
You know, I think it's important to set expectations for people, right? So that everyone in the organization understands what's acceptable and what's not. And I think accountability is a big part of that, from the top to the bottom, that we make sure that everyone's held accountable to the same standard. I want to create an environment here where everyone wants to work, that everyone feels that they have a voice and that they're treated equally and are part of something great.
He says he wants to create an environment of mentoring too, something that has helped him in his career.
Accountability, integrity, honesty, treating people well, those are things that are, really important to me with regards to the culture.
Green replaces a chief who retired. Now, a California native, Green went to Sac State, where he got his bachelor's degree in criminal justice and has a master's degree in emergency services administration from CSU Long Beach. And we welcome him to the Folsom Police Department.
All right, Becca, thank you. An update tonight in our battle over health care subsidies. Yesterday, lawmakers in Congress failed to agree on whether or not to extend Affordable Care Act premiums. Now, Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley is pushing back. Kiley and Democratic Congressman Sam Liccardo have introduced a bipartisan bill that would extend the credits for another 2 years. The ACA subsidies will expire by December 31st and will lead to an increase of health care insurance. We know that nearly 2 million Californians rely on these tax credits under Covered California.
One more legislative week left in the year, so my focus is on 100% on trying to find a solution to actually prevent this cliff. I think there's far too much of a political blame game going on right now, with each side trying to come up with some reason to blame the other side. Why don't we actually solve the problem?
Even though the Senate failed to extend the tax credits this week, members of the House are also signing discharge petitions, which could force a House vote on the ACA subsidies extension next week. The November statewide special election on Proposition 50 was officially certified. The Secretary of State's office says Prop 50 passed with 64% of the vote. California's congressional maps will now be temporarily redrawn to offer Democrats an advantage of 5 House seats until 2030. Governor Newsom pushed Prop 50 to combat President Trump's efforts to give Republicans an advantage in Congress. The Trump administration and a state lawmaker sued the state, arguing Prop 50 is unconstitutional. There will be a hearing about it in federal court on Monday, something we will continue to follow. And California is taking the Trump administration to court yet again, this time over changes to a policy that many California tech companies benefit from. We're talking about the H-1B visas, which allow foreign workers to come to America for more highly specialized labor. Reporter Monica Madden is tracking the litigation.
It is our 49th lawsuit in 46 weeks.
California is taking the White House to court again, this time over the administration's changes to the H-1B visa program.
It threatens to worsen already severe labor shortages across California.
Attorney General Rob Bonta says Trump lacks the authority to upcharge on these visas.
The Trump administration's $100,000 charge has no legal basis and no rational connection to the cost of administering the program. It's an unnecessary obstacle designed to shut out the skilled workers America needs and America depends on.
The White House announced the fee changes in September, claiming the visa program is abused.
No more will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers. They have to pay the government $100,000, then they have to pay the employee.
There are going to be industries and employers that don't have that ability or framework and are actively looking at how they can adapt here.
Attorney Chad Ellsworth works with clients hiring H-1B workers.
There is a war for talent, not only nationally, but internationally.
He says the need is there, especially with Silicon Valley's AI boom.
Many of the experts in these fields are foreign educated or foreign born, so they're very much focused on getting the best talent that can help those industries grow in the United States.
The Trump administration says its changes are lawful and necessary, saying, quote, President Trump promised to put American workers first, and his common sense action on H-1B visas does just that by discouraging companies from spamming the system and driving down American wages. Still ahead onto the point, first responders heading north as Washington state faces historic flooding. Tonight, the warning that the situation could turn deadly. And hiring has slowed down, what the market means for careers, and why AI might be a bright spot.
And as we look ahead to the weekend, we've got more cold and gray days ahead, but I am also tracking a pattern change next week. I'll talk about that in the forecast after the break.
But first, another headlines tonight. Fired University of Michigan football coach Sharon Moore threatened to kill himself in front of a woman who he was having an affair with after she broke up with him. That's according to school officials. Moore was charged today with stalking and home invasion and pleaded not guilty. The university fired him on Wednesday, saying he had an inappropriate relationship with a staff member.
I think people should be able to make judgments on their own as to what they see in these photos.
Democratic members of the House Oversight Committee released photos from Jeffrey Epstein's estate Friday. The images show several powerful people who were in some way linked to the late sex offender. They include President Donald Trump, former President Bill Clinton, Alan Dershowitz, Steve Bannon, Woody Allen, and Bill Gates. The GOP-led committee got these images from the Epstein estate as part of its ongoing investigation. And the nation's top historic preservation group is suing the Trump administration. It's looking to block construction of President Trump's new White House ballroom until review boards weigh in on the project. The group alleges the construction project is unlawful. Trump announced months ago his plans to replace the East Wing with a new ballroom. The demolition proceeded without an extensive public review process.
California is sending help to Washington state as they battle severe flooding. Governor Newsom today announced the deployment of California Fire and Rescue resources and more than 100 personnel, including a swift water rescue team and 3 urban search and rescue teams. Rivers have continued to rise, flooding homes and businesses. Take a look at some of these images coming out of Washington here. Forecasters warn the historic floods could be deadly if people don't stick to those evacuation orders. Officials hope various flood control efforts can keep up and also keep people safe. Brendan, just some Insane images coming out of Washington State. Of course, we are thinking about everyone there. But I do want to talk about our local weather here. Pretty cold here in the valley as well as in Stockton, right? Pretty cold.
Stockton has been colder than they've been in more than a decade. Yeah, 42 was the high in Stockton this afternoon. That's the coldest day since January of 2011. Modesto also at 42, the coldest day since December of 2022. And Sacramento at 44, also the coldest day since December of 2022. So these are temperatures that we have not seen in about 3 years across much of the valley. 43 right now in Sacramento, 42 in Stockton, 41 in Modesto, 66 in Placerville, 32 Truckee, 29 in South Lake Tahoe. As we go through the overnight into Saturday morning, just more of the same. Patchy fog, cold, foggy in some places, and just underneath of that gray blanket of Thule fog, 30s to 50s in the foothills, though, with clear skies. Same story up in the high country with temps in the upper teens to about 20 degrees. 45 tomorrow afternoon in Sacramento, 45 in Stockton, 47 in Modesto, about 51 Vacaville, 47 Colusa. Honestly, it's just more of the same. 60s in the foothills with sunshine, but cold underneath of that gray blanket of Thule fog, both tomorrow and for Sunday. So 2 days in a row coming up here with just cold and gray, really no changes. That Thule fog sticking around, but things are going to start to change as we go into next week. So this is called the Pacific North American pattern. What this tells us is whether high pressure is sitting overhead, if it's positive, or if it's not, it's negative. So you see that P&A is a little positive through the weekend, but as soon as we get into next week and for the rest of December, we are looking at high pressure to stay away. And that means that storm door is going to open up. So you see that high pressure moving away, and that's going to allow this atmospheric river to start aiming at Northern California. A weaker round of rain possible early in the week with better rain chances coming in by next weekend. So again, weaker little system coming through early in the week, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, looking at about maybe a 1/10 to a 1/4 of an inch. Still a ways away, but nonetheless, the models are looking better. Again, early week, just kind of showery, nuisance totals, rain for the valley and the high country. But next weekend, we could be looking at widespread rain with higher totals and rain for the valley and snow in the high country. So the next few days, even into about Monday, maybe Tuesday, we're still looking at that Thule fog sticking around. Temperatures in the 40s and low 50s. By next week, though, the end of next week, much better rain chances, Alex.
All right, Brendan, thank you. Next, on To The Point, gift cards are popular holiday gifts, but be aware of those scammers. Coming up, how to spot fraud and also protect your money. On the back roads, we meet the poinsettia lady and her family keeping this festive plant blooming. Let's get into your price points now. The U.S. economy has shifted from red hot to cool and now to somewhat frozen. That's how some key economists describe the latest findings from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Reporter Maribel Gonzalez spoke with several experts who break down what the data reveals about the current economy and where it may be headed.
It's a really good time to have a job. It's a really terrible time to not have one.
Data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics shows hiring in the U.S. continued to stall in September and October, while employees clung to their jobs with white knuckles. Experts say this is consistent with what is known as a low-hire, low-fire market.
The job market is not growing, and that means that people who are seeking new employment are finding longer search times, and those who are currently employed have their job security somewhat undermined.
August JOLTS report released on the eve of the government shutdown showed job openings as a share of total employment remained at a 5-year low at 7.23 million. That number increased in September and then in October to 7.67 million.
Ever since 2022, when we saw an acceleration in inflation and interest rates, employers saw their costs to hire more headcount increase substantially. They're becoming more cautious about how many workers they're adding to their payrolls.
But not all industries have stayed stagnant. AI is booming.
Occupations like computer scientists, mathematicians, they're still seeing quite a bit of demand.
While the overall labor market currently appears bleak, economists point to upcoming factors that could change that.
The tax cut takes effect early in 2026. There is going to be a lot of money flowing into bank accounts because of federal income tax refunds.
A clearer snapshot of unemployment activity will be available the morning of December 16th when the BLS releases the November jobs report. All right, gift cards are convenient for holiday gift giving, but it is very important to protect the money that you put on those cards from fraudsters. Here are some tips that you should keep in mind. Always inspect a physical gift card. The PIN should be concealed when you buy it. If the gift card's protective covering has been scratched off, revealing the PIN, whoever stole the PIN can drain the money from your card. Make sure you check a sticker with a fake barcode covering the real barcode. Yes, people really do this. The fake code is linked to a card account that the scammers control. If you scan a phony code at checkout, you'll add cash to the scammer's account instead of your new gift card. Your safest option might be to buy a gift card online from a reputable retailer, but don't buy gift cards from online auction sites. Also, make sure that you save the receipt, you take a photo of the front and the back of the card, and tell the recipient to check the balance as soon as they get that card. You can also register the card if that is an option for you. All right, still ahead, a trip on the back roads to one of the biggest poinsettia farms in the country, right here in Northern California. Well, if you didn't know, today is National Poinsettia Day, and California's Central Valley is the largest producer of the colorful plant in the nation. To see how they are grown, John Bartella is taking us on the back roads of Stanislaus County to visit the gigantic greenhouse.
California is the top producer of the poinsettia, the red leafy plant. It's a popular decoration during the holiday season, and one of the largest family-run producers of the poinsettia grows their plants just outside of Modesto. Starting in mid-November, a shopping frenzy for poinsettias begins at Duarte Nursery in Houston.
Honestly, it's the main way we connect with the community. As a commercial crops nursery, we don't see the people of Houston and Ceres and Modesto that often unless they're growing almond or pistachio trees.
Within their massive greenhouse complex, the Duarte family grows more than 40,000 poinsettias a year, one of the largest growers in the nation.
It's literally a sea of flowers, and people's jaws always drop when they walk in the door.
Cassandra Duarte is a third-generation nursery operator and poinsettia grower.
My grandparents started Duarte Nursery back in 1989. Duarte Poinsettias started in 1993 as a way to keep our seasonal employees here year-round.
Around here, Cassandra's grandmother, Anita Duarte, is known as the Poinsettia Lady.
How does one get that title?
Being out here for 30 years, maybe, selling poinsettias.
Growing poinsettias has been a long-standing tradition for the Duarte family, but the plant itself originates from southern Mexico. For centuries, its vibrant leaves have been used in religious ceremonies. In 1828, U.S. Ambassador to Mexico, Dr. Joel Poinsett, brought a clipping back to his plantation in South Carolina. From there, he shared the plant with others, and people were instantly drawn to its bright red leaves.
Actually, the poinsettia leaf is what turns color. This little pod in the middle is the blossom.
It's not much of a flower, is it?
Not much of a flower. These are just leaves.
Today, there's over 100 varieties of poinsettias available in a range of colors. The vibrant hues only appear in winter, when the days are short and the nights are long.
Every year, poinsettias start off as green, just the green of these leaves, and then they turn color with darkness. So you want to do 14 hours of darkness every 24-hour cycle.
Though beautiful, poinsettias have gotten a bad rap recently. Cassandra says there's a common misperception that the plants are toxic to pets and children.
That's not true. What happens is a lot of the time, different retailers will put dyes or sparkles or artificial inputs into their poinsettias, and that's what makes them toxic. Our poinsettias don't have any dyes. The coloring is all natural.
One other misconception the Duartes like to point out is the pronunciation of the plant. Poinsettia or poinsettia?
Either way.
Either way.
Either
Poinsettia,
way. Yes.
poinsettia.
Yeah, either way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever.
That's coming from the poinsettia lady.
Yeah, right.
All right. So
California's Central Valley is the nation's top producer of poinsettias. So many are produced here that December 12th has been dedicated as National Poinsettia Day. So no matter what color you choose or how you pronounce it, there's plenty of these holiday flowers to go around.
From Duarte Poinsettias, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
They are under the shows tab. Just scroll down to travel. You'll see Bartel's Back Roads right there. And our app is completely free to download. And looking ahead at what we're watching for next week, on Monday, the federal case against California's Proposition 50 is set to get underway. We'll be keeping a very close eye on that. As always, thank you so much for watching, for always inviting us into your home. If you have something you think me and the team should be looking into, you can always email us at tothepoint@abc10.com. And if you have some time over the weekend, don't forget to download our app. It is completely free, and you can catch up on all the news you need to know or any of the shows that you missed. I'll see you here on Monday.